Hello everybody. So today we are going over the second AOC meeting. It's been a while since the first one, and that is because Evil Mojo currently does not have a community manager, so things are still a little bit scuffed. I wanted to bring some stuff up before we got into the meeting itself. Steriltic has left the AOC. He didn't say his reason, but I will miss him and I wish him nothing but the best. The AOC schedule has been changed. It's gone from a meeting every 2 weeks to a meeting around once a month, and we're also getting 10 minutes each to talk instead of 15. So this sucks. There's a lot less time for meetings, but hopefully it's still enough to hit like the important topics, and the AOC Discord, you know, people still talk in that and that still exists. So it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If there is something that seems very obvious that AOC should bring up, like the tutorials or servers or like whatever, right? That stuff has been brought up, I promise. Everyone on AOC plays the game a lot, right? Like, we know. So the stuff that doesn't get talked about, maybe we can't talk about it, or maybe the discussion happened outside of a meeting or something, but if there's something obvious, I guarantee we probably talked about it. And finally, please give feedback and suggestions in the comments. I do look at them and it does help a lot. So with that out of the way, there are two docs that were made. So Kreepers made one and Infernal made one, and I think Alive is translating this. So we're going to use Kreepers doc because Infernal's is a bit more in depth, but Kreepers has the original, like the presentations that everybody gave. So I can show you guys that. So the devs don't really respond to balance changes, really. They just kind of go, yep, cool, good feedback, and move on. So zlKingNxckk, he's got some cool balance changes, I think, but the devs didn't really respond to any of it. So I mean, we can talk about it still. He talked about nerfing Octavia damage, which this seems like more of a console thing. I don't play console, so I trust zlKingNxckk's judgment on this. Talked about reducing Cassie's projectile speed. This actually did go through, so that's cool. He talked about nerfing dodge rolls Cassie's mobility with really hard. I think if you're going to nerf Cassie, you touch the damage, not the mobility. I think the mobility is fun. I also think Impulse is just kind of better than roll Cassie right now, so I think it's a bit weird to nerf it. Knessa, the whole mine stuff is getting... They know, they are looking at it. They nerfed it in the current version of PTS, so this is kind of being looked at. Same with Exterminate, that's getting changed. And then the Cherish buff is absolutely tiny, like 2%, man, that's kind of small. The BK buff I am 100% behind. This character got nerfed for no real reason, and he is a very cool character. But he has a high win rate in ranked. Oh no, who cares? The character's fun. I want to see more of him, dude. I want to see more BK. BK's awesome. Same thing with Ging. I don't think that she is the worst support. I think that she's very underrated. But again, I think she's a very fun character. I think this heal buff would be really good for her, so I am in favor of it. Talked about nerfing Term. I don't get this, but I'm a PC player. Maybe it's like really different on console, or maybe it's something related to double support. I don't know. I don't get this change. I'm not in favor of it, but yeah. Talked about Grok. So I think Totemic Ward, like, it gets picked. He talks about it enabling Pirates meta. I made a whole video on why lots of tanks and double support is not necessarily Pirates. If he's talking about like double support meta, sure. That's, you know, that's fair. I get it, but again, I don't really see Totemic Ward Grok in my games. Again, maybe it's a console thing. I don't know. Talked about nerfing Ray. That makes sense. I don't think Ray is really that good right now. Maybe in like comp, she's good, like in Ultra League. You see her get played. So this is understandable. But you know, something that nerfs my supports, man. What the heck? Nerfing Buck, or this is more changing Buck. I don't play Buck. I don't have any feelings about this. It seems like a pretty hard nerf in my eyes, but I don't play the character. Talk about more power shifting neg than anything. Reducing the swap cooldown from 5 to 3 seconds. This means you can basically like always swap, which I'm not necessarily in favor of. I thought when this character came out, I thought the counterplay was going to be like that 5-second cooldown on swap. Like you had to commit. Turns out you don't really have to, so I thought that was going to be like cool counterplay, but I mean, I guess this is more of a quality of life thing than anything, letting her swap whenever she wants. Increasing the time that she takes to reach max speed. I don't know if that does anything to her. I think Yagraf has a lot more issues behind her than the time it takes for her to reach max speed. And again, I've got a video out on why I think Yagraf is just awful for the game. I've got multiple videos out on why I think Yagraf is awful for the game. Talks about the bugginess of Zon, which I think is a good take. And he brought up aim assist, which we cannot talk about that response. So he talked about a lot of balance stuff. I think it was a lot of good balance stuff. Infernal brought up search bars and like sliders and toggles and like some more UI stuff. You can go read this for yourself. I'm not going to read the entire thing. That gets boring. Infernal read the entire thing in the meeting. Basically put me to sleep, dude. But I cannot talk about this response. For an arcade mode, what I can say actually is that they are looking into the aim assist stuff. So like talking about removing aim assist from deployables, I think is more what they are looking into the aim assist stuff, right? Is the short version. So having it proc on deployables and adding a slider, they are looking into that. For an arcade mode, this is basically like, this got a green response. So this is a lot of work is the short version. So this is probably not going to happen. Is the shorter version? It's probably not going to happen. If it were to happen, then it wouldn't be once a week. It'd be 1 or 2 things per patch, because of like tech reasons. So probably not going to happen. They seem to be pretty happy with where limited time modes are right now. Again, it's just a lot of work was the main thing. A lot of work for not much return. The Andro balance, again, Hi-Rez doesn't really respond to balance decisions in the meeting. So I think it's interesting. I think Andrew's in a good spot, so I think messing with him is a little bit weird. It's basically putting Cursed Revolver in base kit and bringing back old Darkstalker, which I really like playing. It was really, really good, so I don't know how I feel about bringing it back, but I don't know how I feel about this one. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. She talked about... Oh, this didn't even get a response. She talked about this legitimately just like... it's not even marked the color. They just forgot to respond to this. Infernal brought up like more loadout slots, basically. And I mean, I think it'd be cool. I don't know how doable it is. I don't know what the devs think about it. So they just forgot to respond to this. So overall, honestly, I don't think the suggestions that Infernal brought up were like super doable. Aim assist is cool. The Andro balance change is interesting. The rest of it, I don't know how doable it is, dude. Stuff that I brought up. So, alright. So, I brought up bans. I basically said, hey, these reasonings down here are not it, Chief, right? People are thinking that they're getting banned for saying Azan is a dumb character. So the thing that is important to point out about this, right, is that it says, I can't highlight it because it's a photo, but it's an example, right? This is not necessarily what the player got banned for. So there's potentially more to this, right? The player might have also said like something that would get them banned, and these are just the examples that they chose to show, which I think is stupid. I think that gives the community a bad idea, and that's the feedback that I gave them, right? And obviously I had to do the AOC report for cheating thing. That's tradition at this point. They passed this along to the dude who handles all of like the ban related stuff. He was not at the meeting, so I don't really know what they think of it, but I personally think it's a good idea. That's why I brought it up. I brought up map rotation in ranked. So they don't just want to flat out remove these maps is the short version. I think Timbermill, Fish Market, and Bazaar, enough people hate them to the point where you could, but they seem to like their rotations. They obviously like the idea of people playing more good maps and less bad maps. That's the whole idea behind this, right? I think there are some very good maps in the game. Bright Marsh, Serpent Beach, Jag. There are some very bad maps in the game. I want to play more of the good maps. Something where you guys can help I want to know which maps you guys want to see more of in ranked and which maps you want to see less of in ranked. I asked this on Twitter, which, by the way, Twitter and Discord, best ways to, probably Discord is better, the best ways to give feedback. Join the Discord. There's literally, you know, a channel for, spoilers, I bring up heavy walls, for like reporting heavy walls. So if you want to like give feedback, obviously I'll read the comments, but Discord and Twitter are the best way to do that. So they are going to, you know, they seem to agree. Right now I'm just working on getting a lot of feedback about which maps people actually do want to see more of and which maps they want to see less of, and then I will bring that to them. And then the map dude is going to use that information to hopefully make a better map rotation. That's the hope here. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it seems reasonable that it could happen. Heavy walls. So I asked the community, hey, what bugs do you guys think should be prioritized? Half of the responses said heavy walls. So I was like, hey, how fix heavy walls? And this is, again, where your guys' help is really appreciated. So there's a channel in the Discord to report heavy walls, and the reason for that is because that's what their response was. They wanted more reports on heavy walls that had like videos, basically. They wanted like evidence. Now, it's a bit weird that their responses basically do part of the work for us, but the thought process behind that is that one AOC member is not necessarily going to change their entire like priority of what they're working on. So if we want heavy walls fixed, we need to like start the ball rolling. We need to do some of the work for them, and that's weird, especially when, you know, heavy walls are we're in half of the responses. You know, they're such a pain in the ass, and they're also so everywhere. So you can't go 5 minutes without finding one of these. So, you know, that sucks. But I mean, I do want heavy walls fixed, so I've been reporting these, and if you have any videos of heavy walls or you want to help report them, or just tell me when they are, because you can't record anything and I'll record them and send them in, then do that in the Discord. But yes, there have been a lot of these sent in, so hopefully they'll start getting fixed. Got some patch note stuff. So basically there's no reliable way to tell when PTS is up or down and what changes are there, and I was like, hey, that would be great if we could have a way to tell that so that people can give better feedback about PTS and actually just play on PTS. And what did they say to this one? They said, good call to make this stuff more visible. We'll continue to make an effort for dev commentary. The dev commentary bit was just like, there was no dev commentary last patch, and I was like, hey, can you guys make sure you keep doing this? There is dev commentary for like last patch, but it like didn't get translated in time or something, which I don't know, man. So for I said like, hey, we should have a Rainbow Pride avatar because Smite has one, we don't. They were like, yeah, cool. This is more like quality of life. They kind of considered it balanced, so they didn't respond to any of it. But basically, these are some quality of life changes. Words are very difficult. So, listen, dude, my voice is leaving my body. I need to go like a day without talking and just recover. So, basically, his ult and his shield activate slowly, and you can die while you are activating them, and that feels like ass, so I think that they should both activate faster so that doesn't happen. Koa also cannot ult with his shield up. This feels like ass. It's not consistent. It's again, this is a quality of life change, so he would be able to ult with his shield up. And then his fall off and his hook range are slightly different, and some people use the fall off indicator. If a character outline is red, there's no fall off, and if there is fall off, then the outline is orange. And some people use that orange-red difference to tell whether they can hit a hook. But his fall off is slightly bigger than his hook, so that like messes people up. So as a quality of life change, they should be the same, so we can use the red outline to determine if we can hit a hook. Andrew buying time. So this card was basically nerfed like for consistency's sake, not for any balance reasons. It is ammo on reversal. Andrew had the ammo card, right? He had 11 ammo, and then got nerfed to 6, so he has 6 ammo now. And generating 10 ammo for a character who has 6 shots doesn't make much sense, so they nerfed the ammo on reversal card. There's a playstyle that is Godslayer reversal spam, which is called hand draw, and this card really suffered because of this nerf. But like, how do you buff it, and how do you like not accidentally nerf a cool playstyle and keep consistency? You make the card work like Makoa's Salvage, so make it, you know, keep the value that it was at before, but don't like make the game look really weird. And again, like they didn't respond to this, but like hopefully this happens, dude. It's just a small change. Sarah's Spirit Leech, so this is the same sort of idea. It's like, you can read this for yourself if you really want, but this card got nerfed for reasons other than balance. I think it should be brought up. It was a cool card, right? It was a cool card, and it was nerfed for reasons other than balance. I think it should be brought back to its original value. Spirit's Domain Grok just kind of sucks right now. He used to be 900 plus 1 totem. They kept tiny buffs. Eventually gave him some ammo, which didn't matter. He has like 17 different ways to increase his ammo. The character is not good, and the reason he's not good is because his healing doesn't really compete with other supports. So I think just to let him compete with other supports, I think his healing should be brought up to from 750 to 900. And that was all I had. I don't know if anyone on AOC noticed that this was a pun, you know, but anyhow. I think I was the only person to have everything marked green, so yeah, good stuff. Kreepers. So Kreepers brought up getting rid of, like, he got some feedback on his streamer mode from last meeting. Now he's saying to get rid of private profile. Basically, I don't think this is likely to happen. Evil Mojo said that just ripping this out would not be a clean win. So probably not gonna happen. I mean, I don't really get private profile at this point. But yeah, Evil Mojo still seems to want to keep it around, so it's probably going to stay around. Talked about accessibility options. Marked yellow, they're looking into it. You can read this for yourself if you want, but it's a lot. So he asked about advertising. The answer was yes, they are advertising. He talked about lore and like, hey, a lot of the old champs, their lore isn't like necessarily like up to date. We have more lore for them. And Evil Mode was like, yeah, but we don't just want to like tell you guys the story, right? They want like bits and pieces and voice lines. They want people to be able to piece it together. So like, you know, they don't want to just like tell you, hey, Sky and Saudi are like this lesbian assassin couple. They want to go, oh, hey, there's Sky and Saudi's trailer, and ooh, like, I don't know. They want people to piece things together. I think that's not quite what the community is expecting, but like, yeah, so feedback. Kreepers wants more lore, and they were like, cool. If they said that like if there's specific champs that people want more lore about, to let them know. So that's cool. Kreepers also asked about GM frames. I was really surprised that they actually like marked the screen. There was an issue that was preventing them. I don't think I can tell you what the issue is. There was an issue preventing them from accurately tracking who hit GM. Basically, is the short version. There was an issue. It was bugged. That's why it's been wonky, because it was bugged. However, that bug has been fixed. So from now on, GM frames should be like good. It should be good to go. It was fucky. Now it's not. It should be fixed. So that is good. Jaimeras. Okay, so yeah, Kreepers. He brought up good stuff, but again, I don't know how much of this is actually gonna get changed. So, or how much of it is already just happening. Jaimeras, let me find his bit down here. So he brought up monetization is the short version, and if you know me and you've seen those videos I made about last year's AOC, I really dislike when AOC brings up monetization, because I think that monetization should be handled by people who like know about game monetization. Dude, I just play the game. I can talk balance all day. I can talk balance, I can talk quality of life, whatever, sure. Monetization, I got no clue, right? Like, I got some idea, sure, I know what I spend money on. But monetization as a whole, I don't think people are super qualified to give feedback on. So I think talking about monetization is kind of just like wasting time. The feedback for this, by the way, is yellow and red. He talked about like polish, and I think this is good feedback. I think talking about it like relative to monetization is cool, but I think, hey, can you polish the game a little bit more? Because this bottom mount kind of looks like ass, which, you know, yeah, it does. Talking about chests and stuff, again, marked yellow and red. I can't really talk about their response. Talked about adding new talents, to which the response was, yes, we have done this, and we will continue to do this. He didn't really give anything specific that can really be done. I think Totemic Ward gets played, so I think reworking it is a little weird. And then also having the rework be a direct competitor to Spirit's Domain is also a little weird. So, and the numbers scale bad. It wouldn't be a support or anything. It'd just be bad. But that's kind of besides the point, right? It's like I don't think this is necessarily great feedback. And this Sky change, goddamn, dude, let's give Sky like damage immunity for 2 seconds. That seems fair and counterable and fun. So again, like it's cool feedback. I don't think it's cool that like this is basically the illusion of choice. This is literally what I said last meeting, dude, with the illusion of choice stuff. So, but yeah. So how do I say this? I think it's not very super specific, and especially after seeing the response to the illusion of choice stuff that I had for my very first topic, I don't think was worth bringing up, and I think the ideas are not great. Talk about game modes. This response was marked yellow, so he talked about he asked people like, hey, what game modes do you want to see come back, and this is what people said. Talked about some more game modes. Again, this is marked yellow. He asked some questions. The block button is being looked into. The rest of the stuff, I cannot discuss their response. So yeah, I don't think this was a super great meeting from Jaimeras. He brought up a lot of things that have been discussed before, and I don't think anything is actually going to get done from his feedback this patch, so I don't think it was a super great meeting from him. For BigMac didn't bring up that much, but he basically said, hey, what if the talents were in an order where the best one was first? And I think this is the wrong way to go about it. Like, I think there's some nonsense. Like, I think Forge Fire being first is really weird, dude. Like, why is the talent that reworks his ult first? But I don't think having the best one is the way to go about it. And Hi-Rez basically said the same thing. Their goal is to have the starting talent be the easiest to understand. So that's what they're going off of. I think that there's still like some failures in this system, like just the execution of it, honestly. They didn't seem super enthusiastic about changing the order of talents because that gets messy for people who have like 2 talents or 1 talent unlocked, basically. So I think that's worth it personally. Like, you know, it sucks in the short term maybe, but is worth it in the long term. BigMac talked about some, you know, reworking unpopular items, changing provision to max ammo. I don't know how well this would go over with people. I think people were mad about an Andro card. I think this would, I don't know how people would feel about this. So, I don't know how good it would be. It'd probably be pretty okay, but you could, I guess, you could. I don't know how well people would react to it if it'd be a popular item. He said Guardian should be a, you know those cards where like you drop below a certain amount of HP, then you get a shield. It should be reworked to that as an item. And then before you start thinking about all the broken interactions that would have, he said it should have diminishing returns, so it doesn't have those broken interactions. I still don't think this is a good idea, though, even with diminishing returns. I think we already have Haven Veteran nonsense. I don't think more survivability is what the game needs. However, I do like the idea of addressing Provision and Guardian. I think both those items are absolute garbage, so I still think this is like good feedback. BigMac talked about basically like these two characters have empty weapon tabs, right? So like could there be something here? Like I think he brought up, what if we could customize our VFX in this tab? I think that's a cool idea. I don't know how doable it is, and I cannot talk about their feedback. Alive, so Alive, I mean, you just kind of, yeah, we can actually just go back to the dock for this. You want to mount health, again, UI stuff, and they're looking into this, you know, marked yellow, they're looking into it, the usual. Talked about removing self-damage from blasters, they're looking into it. Infinite credits in the shooting range, I think this would be very cool. They're going to look into it and see how doable it is. And then random option for lobby music and champ select, cannot talk about the answer. And this stuff I don't think got brought up. So I think Alive, he didn't bring anything up. He brought up like nothing. I think mount health is interesting and the other stuff is like really small. So yeah, I think a lot of AOC is bringing up things that don't particularly matter. I think there's a lot of nitpicky things and not necessarily addressing the big things, because I think the big things are what matter. I think even if you're gonna nitpick, I think you nitpick away at the big things and slowly improve the issue, instead of nitpicking at the things that don't matter as much. So anyhow, that's it for this meeting. The next one will be in like I don't actually know. I can check. So yeah, if you got feedback or suggestions or anything, whether it's for Evil Mojo or for me, then leave it down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.